But I want to emphasize this. I respect the hell out of him. He's the second greatest player in the history of basketball. He's a global, iconic brand.
Stop this losing streak.
That's what I meant.
Would be the.
I know what I said, but you know what I meant.
No, I don't.
Come on, man. You players pick it up.
0-5.
Since he bought these bombs y'all be showing every week. Who can't? LeBron, one of the greatest ever, can't give me 25 points. KD, one of the greatest ever, can't give me 25 points. Anthony Davis, 8 rebounds.
That's easy.
Devin Booker, 1-3. Are you kidding me?
Hey, LeBron, by the way, 3 threes away from passing Kyle Korver.
Ooh, Kyle Korver can shoot that thing.
Number 7 all time.
What he has achieved in his career is phenomenal. I will never lack respect for him and his accomplishments. I believe Michael Jordan is the greatest I've ever seen. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't say that to throw shade on him. I say that because as a basketball player, I believe Michael Jordan is to be revered. I see people respecting LeBron.
What happens when the king of the court turns into the king of controversy? LeBron James, NBA legend, billionaire icon, is making headlines again. But this time, it's not for a buzzer beater or a championship ring. This time, it's personal. And it all started with a comment about his son, Bronny. Stephen A. Smith lit the match, Charles Barkley tossed in the gasoline, and now the whole basketball world is watching the fire burn. Let's break down the drama, from court to controversy. Stephen A. Smith made one bold claim: Bronny James isn't NBA ready. He said what many were thinking, that LeBron might be pushing too hard, too soon to make a father-son dream come true. LeBron? He didn't take it lightly. At a Lakers game, he confronted Stephen A. directly, right there, courtside. No cameras caught every word, but you could feel the tension from the nosebleeds. And just when it looked like things might cool down, boom, Charles Barkley enters the chat. He didn't hold back. Said LeBron was acting like a bully, pushing media figures like Stephen A. and Brian Windhorst around just because he didn't like the narrative.
Who had a better week, LeBron James or Stephen A. Smith?
They both had an awful week. LeBron, he's too big to be that type of bully. To bully Stephen A. and to bully Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst is a sweet person, man. He's just trying to do his thing.
Charles questioned it all. Why so defensive, LeBron? What are you really trying to protect? In a rare move, LeBron took his frustration to the Pat McAfee show. There he played the protective dad card, saying, "I'm just standing up for my son. Cross the line and I'll check you, celebrity or not." But the vibe, it wasn't giving heartwarming father. It was giving PR damage control with a sprinkle of Taylor Swift shade. Yes, really. And guess what? It backfired. Instead of siding with LeBron, the internet started asking questions. Is he helping Bronny? Or is he hurting him by fast-tracking him to the league? Because truth is, Bronny's numbers don't lie. In 13 NBA games, 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, 0.4 rebounds. Respectfully, that's G League material, not NBA spotlight. Let's call it what it is. There's a massive, uncomfortable truth sitting smack in the middle of this whole saga. And no one wants to say it too loud. Bronny James might not be ready for the NBA. There, we said it. And that's not shade. It's not hate. It's the reality that everyone, from fans to former pros, is whispering behind closed doors. Stephen A. didn't trash the kid. He didn't question his work ethic or his heart. He questioned the timing. And that's the elephant in the locker room. Because when your dad is LeBron James, arguably one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball, you don't get treated like every other rookie. You get expectations, you get headlines, you get scrutinized with every single step. Stephen A. simply pointed that out. He said, Bronny should have gone the G League route. Let the kid develop, grow, get used to the pace, earn the spotlight. Instead, he's been dropped into the deep end of the NBA, and it's showing. 0 points in 15 minutes of game time. 1 for 16 from the field, 0 for 7 from the 3. Those are the numbers. That's the pressure.
Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career and 0 for 7 from three-point range. And he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game? Really? And everybody wants to look at it, and LeBron has nothing to do with that. He didn't tell JJ Redick to put him in the game. I get all that.
And when Stephen A said all this, when he dared to speak on the unspoken, LeBron snapped. He didn't deny the stats. He didn't make a case for Bronny's readiness. He went personal, emotional, public, and suddenly, what could have been a conversation about development turned into a PR battle between NBA royalty and sports media heavyweights.
LeBron James was seen confronting and having some words for Stephen A. Smith during a timeout at the Lakers vs. Knicks game. And I love how Markieff Morris is just there listening, but obviously whoever filmed the video wasn't expecting LeBron to go up to Stephen A. Smith and have some words for him, so obviously only caught the end of it. But Stephen A. has publicly spoken about LeBron and especially Bronny, and that's what people are speculating what this conversation was about. I'm not a lip reader, but it kind of looks like LeBron says, "I don't care, bro."
So yeah, that elephant still sitting there, still real, and getting harder to ignore by the day. And let's not forget the blueprint. Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. played side by side after Jr. earned his spot. Gordie Howe in the NHL. He played 5 seasons with both his sons, but only when they were ready. If Bronny's gonna share the court with his dad, it has to be because he earned it, not because LeBron willed it. Let's strip away the noise, the headlines, the back and forth between media personalities and NBA legends, and get to the heart of it all. Is this about Bronny's talent, or is it about the timing? Because here's the truth. Bronny James is talented. He's disciplined. He's got a high basketball IQ. He's a solid defender. And most importantly, he's still growing. But talent alone doesn't guarantee you're ready for the league, especially not right now. Just ask NBA scouts, analysts, and coaches, many of whom are saying the same thing Stephen A. said out loud. Bronny needs time, not a push, not a shortcut. Time to develop, to adjust, and to prove himself on his terms. Remember, this kid missed 4 months of competitive basketball due to a serious heart condition. 4 months at the start of your career is a massive gap, especially in a league where every game, every stat, every moment is under a microscope.
I'm not being cruel to Bronny. I'm looking out. Do you want it this way, LeBron? Do you want it this way, Rich Paul? Do you want it this way? He can't go into the G League and average 20, 25 and stay there until he's ready? Because he's LeBron's son, you know how they're going to judge him. And before anybody wants to jump on me, remember, I never saw Bronny James play until he showed up in the NBA and the G League. I refused to watch him because if I watched him, I would have to talk about him, and I didn't want to talk about LeBron James' son because I thought it was so unfair to the kid. He's such a wonderful kid. Wonderful family. I don't want to hear me talking about questioning LeBron James' fatherhood. LeBron, how many times do I have to rave about LeBron James?
When Jonathan Givney, ESPN's NBA draft expert, removed Bronny from the top prospect list, it wasn't personal. It was situational. Bronny simply hadn't had the minutes, the rhythm, or the readiness to shine like others. But instead of pumping the brakes, LeBron pushed forward, hard. And that's what's got the basketball world split. Some see a loving dad chasing a once-in-a-lifetime dream. Others see a legendary athlete unintentionally placing the weight of his legacy on a kid who's still trying to find his own. The pressure, immense. The spotlight, blinding. The critics, ruthless. And while LeBron tweets, "Let the kid be a kid," he's also the one putting Bronny front and center on the biggest stage. So the real question isn't whether Bronny has potential. He does. The question is, why rush it? Why not let him dominate the G League, build confidence, and step into the NBA ready to make his own statement? Because right now, it feels less like development and more like a race against time to force a father-son fairy tale into the history books. before the clock runs out on LeBron's career. And in that race, timing just might be getting in the way of talent. So here's the real question. Is LeBron bulldozing his way through critics to protect his son? Or is he using Bronny to chase a dream that may not be ready yet? Charles Barkley called it bullying. Stephen A. called it misguided. Fans are calling it complicated. What do you think? Drop your take in the comments. Is LeBron helping or hurting? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss the next sports showdown. This story's not over, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Catch you in the next one.